Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Pearson, your elementary ELL teacher. Today we're going to do an informative retell. We're going to retell the main idea and important details for first grade journeys, lesson 11. And our anchor text is At Home in the Ocean. So for this lesson, we're going to turn and talk. That means I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to think about your answer. Then you're going to pair up with a partner at home, or I can be your virtual partner. And then you're going to share out your answer in a complete sentence or sentences. So, At Home in the Ocean is nonfiction. Nonfiction books teach us information and facts. Nonfiction is real. It has text features and photographs. Real topics might be holidays, animals, or sports. So let's review our vocabulary and sight words because you may use those words when you are talking about the main idea and important details from the text. Number one, cold, to have a low temperature, frozen. Number two, where, the spot where someone or something is in. Number three, blue, a color, the sky and ocean are blue. Number four, live, to breathe, eat, and grow, to have a home, to stay or inhabit. Number five, far, a long distance between two things, distant. Number six, there, a word that shows that something belongs to a group, his and hers, there. Number seven, little, a small amount of something, to be small in size, little. Number eight, water. Water is what is in oceans, lakes, and rivers, liquid H2O. Number nine, classify. When you classify something, you put it into a group with other things, uh, other things like it. Sorry, sort. Classify. Number 10, adapt. If an animal adapts to a place, it has body parts or ways of acting that help it live there. Change. All right, here's our learning target. I can tell the main topic and key details of the text at home in the ocean using pictures and words. Also, I can listen and take turns when I'm having a conversation about the text. Success criteria. That means how will you know you're successful at telling the main topic and key details of the text? And how will you know you're successful at listening and taking turns when I'm talking about the text? Well, here's our steps to success. I will, number one, answer the talk about it questions. Number two, I will circle and say what the author's purpose of the passage is. Number three, say and match what the text is mostly about, the most important thing. Number four, say and match what the author wants us to learn. And finally, five, say and match 1 to 2 detail sentences to each retelling picture. Let's go over our turn and talk rules. Number one, eye to eye and knee to knee. If you have a partner at home, make sure you are looking at the speaker when you listen and looking at the speaker when you are talking. First, one person talks, the other person listens. Three, then the next person talks, the other person listens, but don't talk too long or your partner will not have time to have a turn. You may agree with me or your partner and say, I agree with you because, and say why. Or you may respectfully disagree and you may say, I respectfully or I disagree with you because, and tell me why. So here's our first picture. You can reread about it on pages 13 and 15 of our Journeys textbook. And the question is, what are some animals and plants that live in the ocean? What are some animals and plants that live in the ocean? So you can say some animals or plants that live in the ocean are, some animals and plants that live in the ocean are, well, some animals that live in the ocean are fish, turtles, sea snakes, sharks, dolphins. Some plants that live in the ocean are seaweed, coral, and other types of sea plants. Here's our next picture. You can reread about it on pages 16 to 17. And our question is, how do you know this shark is big? How do you know this shark is big? I know the shark is big because I know this shark is big because well, I know the shark is big because you can see it in comparison to other things in the picture, like you can see smaller fish next to it. You can also see the coral on the ground that's a lot smaller, so the shark is big. Number 3, you can reread about this picture in our Journeys textbook on page 20 to 21. And your question is, do you think penguins live in cold or warm water, and why? Do you think penguins live in cold or warm water, and why? So you can say, I think penguins live in blank water because I think penguins live in blank water because, well, I think penguins live in cold water because I see a picture of penguins here and they are on ice and snow. And it can't be warm if there is ice and snow. Here's our last retelling picture. You can reread about it in our Journeys textbook on page 24. And your question is, what do you think it is like to live in the ocean? What do you think it's like to live in the ocean? We know that this turtle lives in the ocean, and the turtle is actually swimming far away to lay her eggs. So, what do you think it's like to live in the ocean? So, I think it's to live in the ocean because, so give me your opinion. I think it's to live in the ocean because, well, I think it's really cool to live in the ocean because you get to swim in this big, deep water and see all different types of animals and plants, and it would never be boring. All right. Why did the author write the text at home in the ocean? Well, it's as easy as pie or P-I-E. The author wrote the text to either persuade, P stands for persuade, And persuade means to convince the reader of a certain point of view. Or the author wrote the text to inform. I stands for inform, and inform means to teach or give information to the reader. Or the author wrote the text to entertain. Stands for entertain, to hold the attention of the reader through enjoyment. So why did the author write the text at home in the ocean? Either to persuade, convince the reader of a certain point of view, inform, to teach or give information to the reader, or to entertain, to hold the attention of the reader through enjoyment. Also, main idea. The main idea is what the text is mostly about. Look at the title of the text and pictures. Sometimes the main idea is in the first and last sentence of the book or paragraph. And look for clue words repeated over and over. And our title is At Home in the Ocean. All right, now we're going to orally retell the main idea and important details about At Home in the Ocean. We're going to retell the main idea and important details At Home in the Ocean. So first we're going to talk about the author's purpose. The author wrote the text to either P, persuade, convince the reader of a certain point of view, or inform, to give the reader information about the topic, or to entertain the reader, to keep the reader's attention through enjoyment. So why did the author write At Home in the Ocean? To persuade, inform, or entertain the reader. Which do you think? The author wrote the text to inform the reader, to give us information about life in the ocean. So it is mostly about, what is it mostly about? The main idea. It's mostly about life in the ocean. It is mostly about life in the ocean. In conclusion, the author wants us to learn about, so our conclusion is related to the main idea, and that's why we're talking about it now. So in conclusion, the author wants us to learn about sea life or life in the ocean, and it's mostly about life in the ocean. So here are 4 details or facts that support the main idea, what it's mostly about. It tells us more. The details give us more information. So first, what are some plants and animals in the ocean? What can you tell me about plants and animals in the ocean? Well, many animals and plants live in the ocean. There's our vocabulary or sight word, live. That means inhabit or to breathe and to eat and to move and to live. Many animals and plants live in the ocean. So second, what can you tell me about the shark in this picture? Is it big or small? Second, ocean animals can be big or little, just like the shark is big, and there are little animals in the ocean as well. Second, ocean animals can be big or little. Third, what can you tell me about this picture or something similar? Third, the penguins. Well, penguins live in cold water and flap their wings to swim. Penguins don't fly, but they swim in their cold water habitat. So penguins live in cold water and flap their wings to swim. And fourth, what can you tell me about this turtle? What is the turtle doing? Fourth, the turtle, well, turtles swim far to lay their eggs. So, in conclusion, the author wants us to learn about sea life. So, let's reflect on our learning target. I can tell the main topic and key details of the text at home in the ocean using pictures and words. Would you give yourself a 4? I could teach this lesson. I easily answered the questions and retold the main idea and 4 important details about the text, including what the author wants us to learn. Or would you give yourself a 3? I was able to answer most of the questions and retold the main idea and 3 details about the text out loud. Or would you give yourself a 2? I was able to answer some of the questions and retold the main idea and 2 details out loud. Or would you give yourself a 1? I was not able to answer the questions and did not retell the main idea and details out loud. So, how do you think you did saying the main topic and key details of the text? Would you give yourself a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1? All right, boys and girls, thank you for retelling the main topic and key details of At Home in the Ocean with me today. Have a great day.